Candace versus Ben. It's all over the internet. It's all over everywhere. So Candace Owens works for Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire, and you could feel this percolating for weeks, couldn't you? Like it wasn't particularly
months.
surprising.
I mean, I think it's been percolating since the Kanye stuff, which was probably over a year ago now.
Yes, because she was a big supporter of Kanye, who without question made a bunch of anti-Semitic remarks. And Candace was quick to say they're not anti-Semitic. If you're honest, she always has these sweeping judgments as part of her commentary. Like, if you're an honest person, you'll admit that there's no anti-Semitism there. No, I feel like the part about all the evil Jew controllers was like a slightly, maybe just like a little, it was a little, just a tinge anti-Semitic. Anyway, so he was her friend. So it's like, okay, she's trying to give her friend the benefit of the doubt. But then this happened. And let's just say she hasn't been extremely vocal in condemning Hamas. And Ben, of course, has been like steering the plane. You know, he's been very forceful, very smart on condemning Hamas and giving the proper context and perspective for what's actually happened here. And some of the things you were just pointing about the long history of how many times they've been offered a two-state solution. And they don't want it. What they want is Israel gone, dead, Jews dead. That's what they really want. So it culminates in Ben, I don't know where he was speaking at some sort of an event, and somebody captured him on an iPhone, and then it went viral, criticizing her. Here's what he said.
Yes, the question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt. I think yeah, I mean, she still works for my company. I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she is saying, and I find them disreputable.
Okay, so he definitely took a shot at her, no question. She's been disgraceful, and that she has faux sophistication that she's using here that is not well-founded. And then she struck back on Twitter by posting a Bible verse about persecution and how you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve both God and money. And then Ben responded by saying something to the effect of, if you don't like your job at the Daily Wire, or if you think God requires you to leave your job at the Daily Wire, you can quit. And then she posts on Twitter, Christ is king. So it's like, okay, that's definitely not, as we discussed, what Jewish people like Ben believe. I don't think he was questioning her religious beliefs, right? I think he understood she was claiming to be persecuted and suggesting maybe that Ben had chosen money over God. I don't know, to be honest. I don't really understand her tweet.
I think it's fairly obvious that that's kind of what she was doing here. Listen, I want to be very.
So then, but let me just give the end of it. So then she posted that Christ is king. Ben didn't say anything in response. And then she went on with Tucker. And he asked her about, I believe he extended the invitation in the midst of all this, to sort of capitalize on the buzz around it. She went on and she commented further. And then I'll get to that soundbite in 1 second. So I'll let you take it now. Go ahead.
Well, just to clarify one thing, I'm actually not sure when that Tucker thing had been taped. So I don't know if it was already because it aired like 2 hours after this Twitter exchange.
But he asked her about the controversy. They talked about the controversy. Like she had definitely seen Ben's videotape attacking her.
Right. So I guess it sort of happened at the same time. It may sort of be a moot point. I just want to say before we talk about this fully that the same thing that I said on my show yesterday when I addressed this, look, I am friends with both of these people, or at least have been friends with both of these people. I was at Candace's wedding. I was the one that sort of put her on a big show for the first time when she was known as Red Pill Black. She was a little YouTuber, and I put her on my show. I didn't even know her name till she sat in the chair in front of me back in 2017. Ben and I, when I was waking up to a lot of the leftist stuff, Ben, I interviewed in 2016. We've all kind of grown out of this together. We've shared meals. Candace was at my house helping us pick out baby strollers just a year and a half ago. So all of that being said, I think Candace's reaction to October 7th has been very disappointing. She basically said something to the effect of, I'm not an expert in these things. We don't have to comment on everything. except she's in the business of commenting on everything, and she does comment on everything, but she's had a couple moments related to things with Jews where she seems unable to comment. So people can glean into that what they want. I'm really trying to be as measured here as possible. I think the bigger problem that they're having is that Candace wants a glorious exit. And nothing would be better than if the Jew fired her so that she can go launch a new media company, maybe with Tucker. I don't know exactly. But Ben sat on this for a long time. Ben's been getting hit from people on his side saying, oh, you let someone who works for you. And I don't know that Ben fully runs operations there anymore, but he's the face of the Daily Wire. You let this person continue to work there after the craziness with Kanye and everything else. So Ben is getting hit on both sides, right? He's getting hit on the Candace side of things. And then he's also getting hit from his base saying, oh, we told you, like, what did you think was going to happen here? So it's very sad for me personally, because you know what it's like, Megyn. You meet all these people in this, you become friends with people, you break bread with people. And this is the last thing the right needs right now. It's the last thing we need spiritually and religiously for the reasons you just said, but it's the last thing we need politically and culturally if we're going to fix what the problem is. There is a much bigger problem related to what the woke have done and what has happened to the Democrat Party and the collapse of our institutions and everything else. Ben and Candace, for all their differences and for whatever their blind spots might be and whatever we can criticize them on, I'm pretty sure that they still want to live in the same country. I'm pretty sure. I can't speak for either one of them. I think I want to live in the same country as people like both of them. And that is going to be the challenge for people like you and I, Megyn, because it's like too many of us are about to just dive off either side. And I think for those of us that want to hold this thing together and realize what the real problem is, it's going to be very, very complex.
She called him emotionally unhinged. And that for me was, Ben was in Israel when the terror attack was launched. He had been there and with his family, and he has deep connections and ties. I think he owns a home there. Obviously, he's a very openly Orthodox Jewish American who's like kind of the face of Judaism for many people here. He's been under death threat after death threat because of that, from the alt-right and from the lunatic left, who are anti-Semites, as we are very clearly seeing. So I don't think there's been anything even close to emotionally unhinged about Ben's reaction. Nothing. I listen to his show all the time. I was more emotional about what happened on 10/7 on my show. I don't know how than he was. I don't know how Ben got through those first few episodes. I listen to him, sending him texts like, I don't get how you're doing it. And that's a reaction we've heard from a few people like, my God, people are so emotional. They're overly emotional about 10/7. It's like, yeah, we tend to get emotional when babies get burned in ovens. Like, I'm kind of shocked at the loss of understanding of how depraved this was.
Well, it was not only the depravity, but the fact that the Hamas fighters intentionally filmed it, and that we have seen videos of everyone's seen them at this point, people's heads being chopped off, and now they know they baked babies alive, and threw grenades into bomb shelters and people's body parts all over the place and everything else. So you might be a bit more sensitive to that, especially if you are Jewish and you have a connection to that place. But again, many Christians and all sorts of people from all walks of life all over the world have a connection to Israel. But it was the sheer barbarity that caused that. But I would also say that, as someone that grew up with Holocaust survivors in my family on both sides, and my uncle Jerry's father, Joe, had the numbers on his arm, and I grew up hearing about those stories and all of those things, and I heard the stories of survival and heard about the people that didn't survive and everything else. Yeah, Jews might be a little sensitive to this sort of thing. Maybe Jews are a little emotive about this, and I would say that maybe that's something that people should grant a bit of a leash on.
Guess what costs Americans about $11 billion a year? The flu season, which is right now. Kids get sick and they miss school. Parents miss work and then get sick too. And now you can add in COVID variant whatever to the mix. That's why I want to tell you about EnviroCleanse, the new science in home air purification. EnviroCleanse says it will capture and destroy flu and COVID viruses from your home, plus bacteria, toxins, mold, and allergens. EnviroCleanse technology is so powerful, it was chosen to purify the air systems on board Navy ships and subs. EnviroCleanse helps keep our servicemen and women healthier. And EnviroCleanse is the only home air purifier that promises you and your family better health by helping clear your home of cold, flu, and COVID viruses. Also, I got you a 10% discount to get one. Go to ekpure.com, ekpure.com, use promo code Megyn. Promo code Megyn at ekpure.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.